And we begin with breaking news out of Los Angeles. 3 deputies are dead in an explosion at a sheriff's department training facility. Attorney General Pamela Bondi, she posted on X just moments ago saying, "I just spoke to U.S. Attorney Bill Esselay about what appears to be a horrific incident that killed at least 3 at a law enforcement training facility in Los Angeles. Our federal agents are at the scene and we are working to learn more. Please pray for the families of the sheriff's deputies killed." Wow. And that is where we begin right now, out of Los Angeles at that sheriff's department training facility. And we also want to get to the White House at this point. This is where controversy over unreleased Epstein files, it continues right now. Actually, I'm hearing from my producer. We're going to toss over to CBS News Los Angeles as we continue to follow that story about 3 sheriff's deputies killed at that training facility. Let's listen into their coverage.
I'm Assignment Manager Mark Liu here at the desk. Got a breaking news update on the story about this explosion at this LA Sheriff's Training Center in East LA. Our reporter Jeff Nguyen has just messaged me. He is now confirmed with a spokesperson for the LA County Sheriff's Department that tragically 3 deputies have been killed following an explosion here at what is the SEB facility at the training center. Now, SEB is LA County Sheriff's Special Enforcement Bureau. It's essentially their version of SWAT, what you would know as a SWAT team. So it's unclear if these deputies were part of the SEB Bureau or if they were just here at the training facility. But LA County Sheriff's spokesperson now confirms that they have had 3 deputies die as the result of an explosion. It happened in the parking lot. So this was an outdoor explosion, or at least it involves something in the parking lot. The vehicles in the parking lot do appear to be roped off. It's just to the right of where SkyCal was looking. Now we have a reporter on the way and a crew on the ground. This facility is being evacuated, and what we see here, what looks like multiple bomb squad units are on scene as well. We don't know what caused this explosion, but it happened just about 7:30 this morning, and this is in East LA on Northeastern Avenue. This is at the Biscaynes Training Center. This is a major training center for LA County Sheriff's deputies, and the SEB Bureau, the Special Enforcement Bureau, does have a facility here. When we get more information, we'll definitely bring it to you, but that's what we've got so far here at the desk. Unfortunately, 3 deputies died in this explosion.
And I know, Mark, we still have so many questions. We've learned now that these 3 deputies have died. This, of course, is a training facility, as you've been saying. We understand it opened earlier this morning, so it was functioning. Are we getting any hints as to whether this is some kind of training that went wrong or something more sinister?
No idea right now. I did talk to LA County Sheriff's headquarters. They are calling this an explosion. They don't say that there's any sort of criminal component to this. Okay. They don't have any information. They're not looking for anybody. There's not a search or any sort of a suspect here. Right now, they said they're in the preliminary part of this investigation. This explosion was loud enough that people indoors could hear it. There is also some evidence that there are shattered windows on those patrol vehicles down there in that parking lot. This is the area that LA County Sheriffs and LA County Fire are focusing on. You can see that it is entirely roped off, and it is just to the right of where those vehicles are entering the facility. Now, we have a crew that's on the ground. That crew, that breaking news crew, has spoken to some of the people that are driving out of the facility, and they have acknowledged that they are being evacuated from the facility. So it is unclear if there is still an active threat there in terms of perhaps something that is unexploded, or the danger of whatever exploded is still present. But LA County Sheriffs are asking for more law enforcement units to arrive, as well as canine units, and asking for civilians and perhaps other deputies that are working here at the facility to be evacuated if they are not essential to this investigation. So that's what we have so far in terms of that. These are pictures from our crew on the ground. This is right on the corner of what I believe is Sheriff's Road and Eastern Avenue. This is basically the entrance to the facility on the western side of this very large facility that's in the northern part of East LA.
Yeah, it's a large facility in between the 10 and the 710 east of Boyle Heights. We've learned, as Mark has been reporting, that 3 deputies have died. Attorney General Pam Bondi now on X saying that she's spoken with authorities here about what appears to be, quote, a horrific incident that killed at least 3 at a law enforcement training facility in Los Angeles. Our federal agents are at the scene. We're working to learn more. Please pray for the families of the sheriff's deputies killed. I do think you get a sense of just how big this facility is when we take those SkyCal pictures, and you can see some of the emergency crews going in after this alleged explosion has taken place. I think the one thing that caught us our attention is just how many people were leaving that facility. I did look up. It looks like it opens at 6 a.m. in the morning. So there would be plenty of employees if they were starting their day right as the facility opened up. And they have been evacuated now. So to see that number of people leaving the area is pretty significant. But these are pictures from a little bit earlier. From our SkyCal camera, and as Mark's been reporting, still a very active situation as we're learning more about what potentially may have happened. It looks like the LA Times is saying sources are telling them that a bomb squad was moving some explosive when the blast occurred. We are going to try to work to confirm that because we don't know right now if that is in fact the case, but it is a training facility, so in some ways that would make sense. As Mark said, they're not looking for anyone criminally at this point in time.
Yeah, and as we checked in just a few moments ago, there were tons of cars. We're still seeing some as this center is being evacuated. That seems to have slowed, so it shows that they're making some progress, I'm sure, and getting people who aren't essential to this investigation and who don't need to be at the facility at this time out of the way. What we're really only seeing into our different emergency personnel vehicles of all different types coming into this center, which of course makes sense. Again, we've learned that 3 deputies were killed in this explosion, which took place around 7:30 this morning. And as far as we understand, that explosion took place outside. We had some video earlier that was centering on one of the units that was outside. It seemed to have some debris next to it. One of the doors was open, but we don't know much about exactly what happened.
Yeah, a lot of times when you hear explosions, you immediately start looking to see just how big it is. Did it impact nearby buildings? Did it take out cars? What does that look like? In this area, when we've seen from SkyCal and some of the other pictures, it looks like a relatively small area, which is, while this is a very tragic situation, it could have been apparently much worse if you think about it in terms of an explosion. Mark Liu, do you have more information?
Yeah, I want to bring up on my map, if the director can show you, I want to give you an idea of where this is actually happening. Okay, so you had mentioned before, this is the 10 freeway and the 710. Those are the major freeways in this area. I'm going to zoom in right here on this training center. Now you can see how large, this is the entire campus that we're dealing with here. Now, the incident happened apparently right there. I'm going to zoom in and get a little bit closer and show you what we're dealing with. So this is the facility. You saw it with SkyCal. This is where those bomb squad vehicles were going in, and we're looking at this area of the facility right here. Now, you can see there's lots of patrol vehicles that park there. They've got these tarps. And then all of the other facilities that are around here, you can see this is all LA County Sheriff's. And even up here, this, I believe, is LA County Fire Headquarters. So this is a major government center. They do their fleet management for LA County Sheriffs here. There's internal services down here. So this entire campus is basically devoted to both law enforcement and first responder administrative and training activities. Now, our ground crew was right here. That's the corner of Sheriff's Road and Eastern. And we could see that people were exiting out this way and then down towards, outside of this facility. But this is about as far as we can see right there. That's where our ground crew is being held. The rest of this entire facility is basically been roped off for any activity while they investigate what's going on. You see how large that campus is, but all of the attention is right there at that parking lot. That essentially there's our ground crew again. Showing us those pictures there. There are people entering, but also people leaving these vehicles, most of them telling our crew on the ground that they're being evacuated from this facility.
Okay.
All right, so if you were just joining us, I want to give you a quick breakdown of what you are looking at right now. That reporting coming from CBS News LA, telling us about a deadly explosion at an LA County Sheriff's Department training facility. We've learned 3 deputies were killed, and that is coming from Attorney General Pam Bondi as she expressed condolences for those deaths. Again, this is happening right now, a very active situation as you see law enforcement in that area at an LA County Sheriff's Department training facility. 3 deputies, we're told, were killed. A lot more information to come out of this right now because Pam Bondi said at least 3, so we don't know if others were injured. We don't know what led up to that explosion, why it happened in the first place, but we're hearing that a news conference will be held shortly. As soon as it begins, we'll bring it to you right here on CBS News 24/7.